What's up, guys? You're watching To All the Crowd Rooms, a YouTube channel to help provide insights to the DIY music scene. If you like our free content and want to help support the channel, you could do so by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Hit that notification bell. You get the alert as soon as the episode's posted. Jose, introduce our guest.
Tonight, we are happy to introduce a 103.7 alumni, a woman who, when she is not busy doing comedy, acting, modeling, or, making everyone look beautiful for stylish skills, the one and only Karle Gwen.
Oh my God, hey guys!
A short person.
Yes,
I'm here too.
Very, very short, very short. Hey, Jesse.
And coming back stronger than ever, cuter than ever, Jesse James Smith, everybody. Golf clap.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, excellent.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yep.
Wait, so can I start this off with something? I told you I had a surprise for you.
Yes.
So,
Oh my God, I forgot about the surprise.
So I saw on your YouTube channel that you had a viral video on there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Video, yes, unfortunately. Oh my God, it's a tiny little basket. Wait, so my viral video was a TikTok that I did of mini brands last year, and I put it on YouTube because I thought it was really funny.
Wait, so for the audio podcast, can you explain
Yes.
what mini brands is?
So mini brands is this like weird plastic ball that you can get at like Target or Walmart, and it's kind of like stuff that you would maybe find, oh my God, there's two of them. Okay. In like a vending machine, but they're like, I think they're from China. I'm not really super sure, but they were like this sensation on TikTok. Oh my God, wait a second. Hold on. There's another handful of stuff. Nice. So I decided, I got on TikTok last year and I was like, I have to jump on this mini brands thing because I love tiny things. And I got one and I didn't know that they were fake. Like, I thought they were real. Like, this one here is a tiny Twinkies box. I thought there was tiny Twinkies in there.
Can you show the camera?
Here you go. Look how tiny it is. It's like the size of a matchbox. Obviously, there's not tiny Twinkies in there, but like, I was so surprised. Whatever. So I took this like 1 minute video. Like, this is like shaving cream or something. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a tiny travel size shaving cream. Yay! True. So I put it on TikTok. It didn't really do that well, and I was really sad. So I was like, maybe I'll put it on YouTube. And it got over 1 million views. I don't understand why. No. And it was like really stupid. And I have like an actual YouTube channel with like stuff that I've like put time and effort into producing. And then all anyone cares about is this stupid mini brands video. And now I'm like really upset about it. But anywho. So
did you get a lot of subscribers from that?
Yes. So now I have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube for this dumb mini brands thing. And like, I don't create like unboxing type content. So I was like, these people are not going to follow me for very long because this is like not what this is about.
That was a one-time thing.
It's a one-time thing. Oh my God. So in these tiny baskets are like, what is this? Smarties, a tiny bag of Smarties, this is very 2020 appropriate. A tiny package of wet ones. Wow, I never got any of the baskets, so I'm like really jealous.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend got a shopping cart too.
What?
Yeah, it's sick.
Okay, so like how many of the mini brands balls did you have to buy?
Oh, I bought 4 of them. I got 1 for
4.
Bezos,
Yes.
and I got 2 for myself and 1 for my girlfriend.
Yes.
And then I wanted to go back for more to pick one up for you because I knew that you were coming on. But
I would have cried.
The GameStop down the street that I bought it from got looted.
Yes.
And I don't know if they're coming back with the mini brands.
With all of their product.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Okay. Well, thank you for thinking of me and my love of tiny things.
Yes.
I really like your tiny Spam. The tiny Spam is my favorite, I think.
Vicious.
Of your collection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that might be a rare.
Okay, so none of mine were rare. They were like extremely average. But I still freaked out like every one of them were.
You got the mayo
rare.
though.
The mayo is in my fridge.
Really?
Okay. It's in my fridge because I thought it was funny. And I put I got a little shampoo, like a little Tresemme shampoo container. I put that in my shower. And I tried to put them like where you would put them in your house if they were. Yeah.
I need to do that.
Right?
You
should do it and not tell your girlfriend.
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
She'll be like, what? A tiny moon pie?
I just set it up like on a shelf in her house, and I didn't say anything to her. So
that's awesome.
I don't know if she saw it yet, but
oh my God. All right, well, I'm gonna try to get them back all in the tiny baskets. That was amazing, by the way.
Good. I'm glad.
I've never seen anyone's like mini brands collection before, so this was
They're
really
$10 a piece.
So at Target, it was $5 for the ball, but I think maybe that's because there was no rare ones. They were like the dumb ones.
Okay.
So I was like okay with spending $5 on that.
They rang me up and I was just like, how much? I was just like, all right,
Rude.
well, yeah, because I went trying to go get Pokemon cards.
Should've
The
stole
Tat
them.
Car House
Yeah,
is
should've just pocketed
shout out
them.
Pokemon.
Yeah. It's hard to steal mini brands because it's like
No, it's
kind of
not.
too big for your pocket.
Too big to steal, huh?
Too big to steal. Is that a challenge?
Sign up for my YouTube, dropping
Oh,
in December, if you want exclusive content on how to get away with any crime at Walmart.
All right, so do you know the
Wait.
big whiteboard in our living room?
Yes, yes,
he
I
stole
saw.
That. He stole that.
Supposedly.
Or Ottoman.
Allegedly.
You
the
know.
ottoman, the black ottoman that's upstairs.
No.
Yep.
No.
And stuff in it.
Allegedly.
And stuff in it.
Stop. Wait.
All right, let's get off.
Moving forward.
Let's
I'm
not.
gonna let that go. I'm gonna let it go.
You know
okay.
what? Thank you. I just
Yeah.
want to bring up an important detail to kind of segue us into this
Yeah.
whole entire thing. Me and you are both Geminis.
Geminis,
We're
yes.
twins.
Yeah. Well, in more ways than one that I found out.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You want to tell me one? I'll tell you one.
Well, you were upset that I'm a June Gemini.
Yeah,
Does that
listen,
mean you're a
listen.
May Gemini?
I'm a May.
Oh, okay. I was going to say we were both born in June, but never mind. Okay. We both love heavy music.
And we both have colorful hair.
Yes. We're
And
both.
we also both do an absurd amount of things.
So
and
many
you,
things.
yourself, I would love to go ahead and dive right into this.
Yes.
So not only do you run the Ladies of Metal podcast, not only do you act or model, but you also do comedy.
Yeah.
And you also learned how to do hair. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So out of all these things right now, we spoke about this on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of projects coming up for each of these things.
Yeah.
If you want to start with one of them, which one are you the most excited to start off with?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I would say the top 3 things that I'm doing right now are acting, modeling, and comedy. My podcast is kind of like always kind of lingering, like I'm doing it, but it's not something I'm like really budgeting a lot of time into. But I have a huge shoot coming up for Spencer's, like the store in the mall.
Oh, awesome.
So I model for them like off and on, like kind of whenever they need me, because the flagship store is like in Jersey, so
Yeah.
it's easy to kind of get to. And so I do kind of like all different stuff. Like I'll do like band t-shirts or like the Stephen Rhodes line or like lingerie stuff. So I'm not really sure what we're doing, but it's a 2-day shoot in 2 weeks, and it's going to be like a lot of stuff. So I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. I really love working with them. And then I have, as far as acting goes, I'm shooting like a short film right now. So it's only like 10 or 15 minutes long, but it's kind of like a proof of concept. So they're hoping that we'll be able to turn it into a feature. So it's kind of like a test run for like producers and people to kind of like invest in it. And it's kind of like a gritty underworld, like The Boys on Amazon Prime, if you guys have seen that.
We're the boys.
You guys are the boys.
We them boys.
I'll drink to that.
Please do. It's kind of like a Gotham-y, kind of on cocaine type of place. I don't know.
Got it.
So kind of graphic novel-y kind of a vibe. So I play like a kind of a Harley Quinn type of character if I had to like.
Was this the one that you posted called Bruce?
No,
Or-
so that one came out over the summer, which was also kind of a Batman fan fiction. This one is just kind of like a graphic novel type of vibe.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's just my thing now. I'm just like all up in the graphic novel type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I love graphic novels and comics and stuff. So that's coming up. We shot our first day like this week, and then we're shooting again next week. And then I have a music video coming up. I was telling you guys about this, which is like a country music video. So like I'm gonna have to wear a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me like of if you guys watched music videos back in the day where there was like a story and they were maybe like 10 minutes long. Like I don't know, Green Day did a couple like that.
Like Kanye West's Runaway.
Oh gosh.
What, with like skits in it and stuff?
There's skits.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember rappers back in the day used to like in the middle of the music video, like a skit would happen.
Yeah, like the music stops and
Yep.
then there's like, I think it's kind of like that from the script. It seems like that. Like the
seems very
music doesn't
exciting.
even start for like a minute into the whole project. So we'll see. I don't know anything about country music, but the dude was excited about my weird look.
So is this like a South Jersey cowboy?
I don't know. No, he's from Philly.
Okay.
He's a Philly cowboy, I guess. I hope it's not like Old Town Road. I'm really hoping it's not
Why not?
that type of vibe. I don't know.
That's a whole vibe.
That is
You gotta be open.
something.
You gotta be open.
I guess.
Who can
I'm
make it cool?
doing it.
You can make it cool.
I'm gonna try. It's like I'm kind of like a badass. Like I got like guns blazing and I'm like shooting people. I don't know. But that's coming up.
Philly.
Yeah, it's in
Bad things happen in Philly.
Bad things happen.
Yo,
I know. It's
is there
just like
a
not
good
the time.
Is there a good budget behind this music video?
Yeah,
Like,
that was my next question.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's a paid gig, so I think that's a good sign.
Sure.
Hopefully.
If a Philly Cowboy's running it, that
Philly
means that there's some
Cowboy.
kind of financial stealing going on right now with them.
Yeah, I think maybe you need to
They're
talk
bandits.
to him about allegedly stealing.
Oh,
Maybe
just December,
props
it
or
drops.
something. Yeah. So yeah, I think that might be all that's coming up.
That's
in the
still
next like 2 weeks. Yeah.
that's still like so much, and like, you know, everyone at this table balances so many things.
Yes.
But like, you know, that's like one of the things that I was the most interested about, and I'm most excited about talking with you is like, for you seem to have this, and we touched a little bit on the phone about it. You have the comedy, you have the acting, the modeling, and all of these things kind of within your wheelhouse. They all have like a common denominator, and that's that you really want to express yourself. You really want to put it out there that you're someone who can multitask and
Yeah.
work in different environments. And I think that's a really important thing because it's all about like time management at the end of the day. That's one thing that we can all agree on right now. Like
Yeah.
time management is either going to make it or break it for you. And I was just wondering, like, how do you manage your time? Because when we were talking prior to this, you were like, yeah, I had to go to bed at like 7:30 when I used to go to Penn State.
God.
And to be honest, I wake up pretty early, but I couldn't imagine doing that for,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
so,
the way you were doing it? Yeah, explain.
I guess that was so when I was at Penn State, I was doing a radio internship at a morning show, and we had to get there at 4:30 in the morning. So I would have to go to bed at like 7:30 at night. And
How
it
old
was
were you?
Kind of so it was like my last semester at college, so I was 21.
Dude, I was getting blasted at 21.
So here's the thing.
Zooted.
I did not have the college experience that like most people have, or like what you would think of, because I'm straight edge, and also I was in the honors college, so I had a lot of homework. I was like on campus all day for like 12 hours a day in
Wow.
like different labs doing like audio stuff and like, you know, video, TV, news type of stuff, and like I just didn't really have like time to do anything. I don't know. It wasn't a fun time, I'll say. Like I did a lot of work. I don't
Was
know
it
if
fun?
that not really. It was not fun.
How'd you gravitate into getting into all that kind of stuff? Because like waking up at 4:30 in the morning, like
Yeah.
It was not.
What made you? What got you out of bed every morning?
So
Literally.
I guess like at the time, so this was like 2011. So not that long ago, but long enough ago that like radio was like a little bit more relevant than it is now. So I thought like if I worked really hard and I did all these internships, like I interned at MMR in Philly, and I was like, oh man, I made it. Like this is the coolest thing ever. And I took all these extra classes, and I was like doing all this work, and I was like, I'm gonna be the best radio personality ever. And then once you're actually in it, like you're not reading out of a textbook or like doing fake projects for classes, and you're actually in the station, it's like literally anyone could do it, and you didn't need all this training, and I put in so much work for like seemingly no reason. So like once I was working professionally like for about 5 to 6 years in radio, I was like, I don't know if this is it for me. Like this is like not hard, like skill wise, like I don't know. It just felt like I kind of like wasted a lot of time. But at the time in 2011, when I was like graduating college and I was doing all these internships, I was like, oh, I gotta work really hard, and then I'll make a lot of money, and then I'll be super famous, and I'll get to be on Z100 and Sirius XM and blah blah blah. And I guess my big dream in radio was to like start my own Sirius XM channel. So I like liquid metal and like Octane and stuff like that, but I was like, this isn't really like me. Like some of my favorite bands are on there, like Parkway Drive or like the Acacia Strain or something like that, but then it'll be like Five Finger Death Punch or something, and I'm
Right.
like, ugh, like skip. So I feel like I was like, if I get all this experience and I put in all this work, I could move to New York and work for Sirius XM and like be famous and like start my own channel. And that didn't happen because it's really hard and really competitive, because like especially, you know, since 2011 radio has kind of like gone downhill as far as like relevancy. So there's not as many jobs, and it's a lot of like hiring from the inside or hiring people that they already know. So if you're applying for jobs online, it's not really like a job that exists. They just have to put it up there for like formality.
Are you talking about like jobs as far as personalities?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to find the personalities because like not everyone can do like what you do.
But
like,
everyone thinks they can do it.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
and especially now, like, or in the recent past couple of years, like when everyone has a podcast, it's like, oh, well, everybody can be on the radio because you have a podcast. And
but
it's like,
not everyone's downloading everyone's podcast. You know what I mean?
sure, yes, yeah. But like a lot of the problem in radio now, especially, is like since it's so hard, like nobody ever leaves their job. So if you think of like radio personalities in Philly, like Pierre Robert, like he's never gonna leave, and he's been there forever, and like I'm never gonna be in line for his job.
It's the only one I know,
And-
actually.
Right. It's like, you know, these like, and every city has like Pierre Roberts, right? So like nobody's leaving their job unless they get fired, and then if they're getting fired, it's because the position is no longer available. So it was like way too competitive. I was like, I need to make money. Like I don't have any money, and I've been out of college for 7, 8, 9 years at this point. And I felt like I had nothing to show for it almost, and like, why am I doing all these side hustles and things like that? So I did like it, and I got in it originally for the music to kind of like fulfill that goal of like getting heavy music on Sirius XM. But once I figured out like how it really was, like working in it professionally, I was like, this ain't it. So I don't know, it kind of sucks that like it took that long to figure it out, but then I don't know, I found all the other stuff that I like to do, like acting and modeling more often, and hair and makeup and stuff. So
nice. Wait, I had a question about the radio. As far as like ratings go, because the only thing I really know about radio is I watched the movie Private Parts.
Of course. Howard Stern.
Yeah, I'm a huge Stern fan.
Yeah, he's great.
But I never understood like how people had ratings, and you know you could see who's popular by who's listening into certain people's shows and stuff like that. Were you able to keep track of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so how that works is like in really big markets like New York City or Philly probably, they have these things called PPM meters. So it'll be like a little device that tracks everything that you're listening to for like a week if they send one to you. So anything you're watching on TV or any radio frequencies or whatever you're listening to, like kind of gets tracked, like the data in the little meter, and then you send it back. So that's a little more accurate. So it can tell like how long people were listening to each station, when they were listening to, and like how frequently, like that week or something. But smaller markets like, you know, Atlantic City, it's like a little diary. It's like a little paper diary, and people have to write down what they were listening to and how long. So obviously, like people are lazy and it's not going to be as accurate.
Right.
So it can kind of help. Like you can see, you know, how many thousands of people are listening to a 15-minute section of a morning show. So if you're like, oh wow, 8 o'clock, there's, you know, 50,000 people listening, and 7 o'clock, there's 20,000. So you're going to put like more of your good content, your A content at that 8 o'clock hour, because you know more people are listening.
Right.
And that can also help like with, you know, radio personalities. Like if nobody's listening to the night guy, maybe to cut corners, they're going to axe the night guy and just program music and not have a personality. So it's kind of like that competitive. It's like you really have to like do a good job, because
so you were doing a good job to have that morning spot, basically.
Yeah, so I had been at the station for like a year and a half prior to getting that morning show gig. I was doing like weekends and filling in, and I was doing like remote broadcasts. Like I'd set up all the station events and stuff, or I'd, you know, pretty much did anything. I was like, might as well.
I'm here.
And yeah, I was like, I can do it. And then the morning show host left. And
Was that Matt?
No, that was Tess.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
So she left, and she was actually from Ohio, so she like moved back home. And they were auditioning people, and they wanted to audition me for the morning show. And Matt got the final say, and he picked me.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool. I felt like I was like on a game show for a week. That was kind of cool.
I remember listening to you.
Yeah?
Like on the radio. 100%.
That's awesome.
I also remember, because I've known you even
For a
before
while,
that.
yes.
Yeah. So I remember when you initially started getting on, like, and me and like some people that we know kind of knew you were involved in it.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'll never forget it. Everyone was like, she's gonna end up slipping the newer metal in it. Just watch.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just started hearing news about like, oh, well, Motionless in White's doing this. And I was just like, oh, really?
funny.
They are? Yes, they are.
How do you guys know each other again? So,
From the lessons learned phase.
So my band, I think you met Joe first, who was in my band. He's in my band now, actually.
Yes, full circle.
Yeah, and actually, this is funny. So when I was 16, I did my first music video, and you came and did the first interview.
Yeah.
And we were on a Ladies of Metal podcast interview episode. Yeah. Like in 2013. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to watch this interview. Is it on the internet
I feel
somewhere?
like, I probably have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think it's on YouTube. So
It is on YouTube,
I'll send
yeah.
it to you guys. I have like bright ass blonde hair. It's great.
I don't think you're in it. You're
might
standing
not be.
behind, but I oh my god, I was
guys
just
were like
thinking
little
about
babies.
this. I was just thinking about this too. Like I recently, like within the last like 3 months, I was rewatching some of like those days.
Yeah.
and I found it, and I was just like,
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I didn't know you were 16. That's like really
Yeah.
young. That's like a little baby.
the vocalist was 15.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so you knew that? Okay.
I did know that.
Yeah, I was 16.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I met them. I think I met Joe on the boardwalk because he was working at like the go-karts.
Yeah.
I don't know. This sounds like a weird dream, a shared dream. That we had.
Yeah. It's really funny.
Bunch of shore kids.
I know, but I was like, oh man, they have like the little swoopy hair. I was like, these kids are cool. It was awesome.
Well, no,
yeah.
it's funny what Jesse was saying because, like, I was telling you how I used to work at a bike shop and
Yes.
on the Ocean City Boardwalk, and I wasn't allowed to look at my phone, but I was allowed to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
And you would come on every morning, and I fell in love with your personality.
Oh!
You would talk about, you would slip in the Warped Tour bands,
Yes.
amongst all of the Breaking
Oh
Benjamins.
gosh,
You know,
yeah, we had to mention those.
Yep.
But yeah, I had a segment like I think it was twice during the show called the Rock Rundown.
Yeah.
And basically like I had to throw in stuff, about like Shine Down and like stuff like that. And I was like, ugh. Like I don't personally listen to that stuff, but those were like our core artists, like the dad rock bands, as I
Butt
call
rock.
them. Butt rock, if you want.
I love butt.
Okay. There's a quote. But I would throw in like bands that I cared about, and like I knew like you guys were listening and like cared about like Parkway Drive and stuff. I was like, whatever, I'm throwing it in. And then after a while, like I did the show for 4 years, I think. We would play Parkway Drive and Bring Me the Horizon at night. And
late at night. Yep.
So I was like, well, we're playing it. Like my boss programs all the music, so I was like, well, if he's putting it in, then I'm gonna talk about it. So whatever.
were there rules that you couldn't like slide in the Warped Tour bands?
No, they didn't give me any like
Limitations or
parameters or
anything like
anything
that?
as far as content. Just obviously like you can't swear, but like they didn't say anything about like music content.
Like hell. Could you say hell?
Oh yeah. You just can't say anything radio. Like you can't say anything that has to do with like anything like your butt or anything like that.
No butt
like
stuff.
No butt stuff.
No. So what we would do is like make up like weird other lingo that like was funny that you could say that was like kind of getting around it like a loophole.
So instead of saying like the F word, all I need to say is Eddie, and like I'm good. It's an inside joke with us.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
we would
fuck
just,
Eddie.
we
Fuck
would just
Eddie.
say-
Fuck Eddie.
Oh man, I don't even know him, but he
Just
sounds
say
he
it. Come
sucks.
on, just do it. Just
sounds
say
like
it.
he sucks.
All right. She didn't give in. She's really
No.
strong.
Yeah, I know.
She's really strong.
I mean, I don't know him, but
Yeah. Well, if you
Maybe
knew
he
him,
does.
I love
probably
you,
agree.
Eddie. If you're watching this, we love you. Fuck you. Anyway.
love it.
Fucking,
Okay.
okay, cool.
basically
then.
how that goes.
Yeah, that's so interesting though. I love how things are interconnected because we're all from like South Jersey.
Yes.
Right?
So I mean, I'm not from there originally, but I've been down there for 9 years.
Enough time.
Enough time. I
Yeah.
know the bros, the local bros.
Yeah, and like I love that too because like I remember like one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you too is because it's not every day where someone, and like I see it more now than ever before, where there's more females, there's a lot of just like girls who are finally participating in being in bands. Like I see so
Yeah.
many more girls, especially on TikTok, just ripping. shredding, doing it up.
Oh, it's awesome.
And so like when I found out about you through Ladies of Metal and stuff like that, I just thought it was so sick. I was like, here we have someone who's strong, independent, knows what they're talking about, passionate, work ethic like no one else I've seen right now. And I thought it was very, very it was very motivating. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Yeah, and
that's
like
so cool.
you don't need to thank me. It's what we do for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's definitely one thing I will say about you. For as long as I've known you, it seems like you just keep working harder.
Yeah.
And that's like not, you do so much. So like when you're like, oh, okay, I remember you were doing Ladies of Metal when I met you, and then you went into radio.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, I'm seeing someone modeling. Okay. What do you mean she's on a comedy stage? What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck?
I remember I was like, okay, let's watch. And you're funny. And I'm just like, this is awesome. Okay.
Can we get into the Ladies of Metal stuff?
Yeah, sure.
So it's from what I see, Ladies of Metal seems to be similar to like a Suicide Girls type of deal.
Sure. The thing with Suicide Girls is that like it's kind of like a subscription thing on a website, and you're basically subscribing to see like kind of nude content. It's not like, I wouldn't say pornographic, but it's kind of like softcore, and it's like obviously alternative type girls, right?
Yeah.
So Ladies of Metal is not really so much about like the modeling as it is about like promotional stuff to do with like bands. So it's more music based. So we don't just have like white girl tattoos, for lack of a better term, and like, you know, colored hair, and then we listen to Katy Perry or Taylor Swift. So that's kind of the vibe that I get from Suicide Girls, is like maybe those girls aren't exactly like literally alternative life. Yes, like that's kind of what
I'll stand up for the Suicide Girls. I think the older
Sure.
Suicide Girls for sure, but having a lot of friends who are currently Suicide Girls, the newer generation, they're probably more definitely the opposite of
Like
that, but
e-girls kind of.
maybe something like that. I would say like there's definitely like, I think it's just a generational thing. You know what I mean? Like things evolve as time goes on.
Yeah.
But like that I'm so interested about this because like Mikey was talking about it, and I was excited to hear about this. So like Ladies of Metal is kind of almost like a collective, I guess, of women.
Yeah, for sure. So it's all, you know, badass ladies that are all, I would say, all different like, you know, body types and stuff too. So it's like all inclusive, which is cool. It's not just all like super modelly looking girls. Like there is that, but it's also like more of like a celebration of like creativity. Like all these girls are like have something cool going on. So like there's a lot of like tattoo artists in there. There's like some gamer girls that like kill it on Twitch, and like different, I don't know, there's like all different types of girls. But it's been around since MySpace days, like since 2006. So it started on MySpace, and then it kind of went to Facebook and then Instagram. And when I started, I was like, this is really cool. Like, this is way more my speed than Suicide Girls. And like, I don't want to get naked on the internet. So like, I'm not doing that. But I can get behind like reaching out to bands and doing like merch photo shoots. And like, that's kind of how I got started with the podcast. And when I started, there was not really like a lot of music, like the link between like the modeling and the music wasn't really there. So when I was like officially accepted, I was like, I'm gonna start a radio station for you guys. So I started like an internet radio for them, and it was called Ladies of Metal Radio. So that kind of preceded the podcast and kind of turned into the podcast. So it was like a free radio station that was like broadcasting 24/7, and it would have like all the bands that we worked with on there, and I would do like little interviews when we signed different bands, and I would have like little intros with like new models that we had, and it was like kind of just always playing. It was just like a really long playlist that would play like over and over.
Nice.
So I had that going for like 7 years, I think, and then once I started doing the podcast more often, I was like, I think I'd rather just do the podcast and instead of like keeping up with the radio too. But as long as there was that link between like, you know, the modeling and the music, because if we didn't have the music, it was kind of just like another Suicide Girls type of thing.
Are you the only girl a part of Ladies of Metal that has like the side thing for Ladies of Metal, or is there other girls that do like other kind of like personality things off the side?
No, so I think I'm the only one that has like a kind of an offshoot,
Like a branch off of
yeah. So I don't necessarily get like money from the podcast, so it's not like at first I was like, I don't know if I should use their name, that seems kind of weird, but it is kind of like, you know, I'm using my contacts from Ladies of Metal, so it kind of works. So I don't know. Yeah. So I guess that it is my project, but it is sort of like linked to them.
And is there engagement throughout that? Like, is that community engage a lot with your podcast or?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think we actually operate the Facebook anymore, but we had like 3 million followers on there. So at the time, like I think as of like a year ago, the owner sold it. So I don't think we actually use that page anymore. But yeah, I mean, I was getting like really good feedback, especially from Facebook.
No, that's crazy. Because when I first checked it out, I thought you were like the face of it all.
I ran all the social media for them for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years.
How'd
probably.
that get lined up?
The owner reached out to me because I don't know if it was just because I was producing like kind of content that she thought was like would align with what they were kind of going for more often.
Or saw you have the tools to do so.
Yeah, like I was already interviewing bands just from college. Like I had a college radio station at Penn State and I had a show on there. So I had been interviewing bands since back then. I just always thought it was really fun. And I was like, I don't even care if people listen to this. It's just for me. Like, I think it's cool. I don't know. So I just kind of kept doing that. And she was like, if you want to be more involved, like that'd be really cool. I could use the help. So I was kind of like the social media and like brand manager sort of for Ladies of Metal. So I ran all the social media pages.
Cool.
Yeah.
You want to know what's really cool that I kind of keep hearing a lot from really successful people is that one moment or the one instance or the one project to where they say, I don't care if anyone listens to this is for me.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like I hear it over and over and over again from people who are doing something successful and working hard, but like that passion behind it like really shines through and you could definitely see it.
Yeah.
Because I know, I'm sorry. I know you even bring on like my old band, but like you brought on other local bands, so you were really in touch with the local scene as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was like what I really enjoyed about being on the radio is like they let me kind of do whatever I wanted, and that's kind of the benefit of working at like a smaller, like a local type smaller market station. So after a while of being at 103.7, they let me kind of help with like the metal show that they would run on the weekends. And that was like kind of off the rails. So like there wasn't really a lot of rules as far as programming the music. So that's why I was like, well, I'm just going to get my friends' bands on there because like I think you guys are sick. And like I have another friends band in the area for those who can see. And I was like, they're awesome.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, we
Shout
love
out
them.
Jordan.
Love them. They're the homies. So I was like, yeah, we got to get them on there. And it's cool because it doesn't sound like, you know, you guys recorded it in the basement. It's like a legit recording, and like I would have to kind of send it past like the guy that actually ran the show, and he's like, hey, these guys rule. I'm like, yeah, I know. So he's like, yeah, anytime that like your friends' bands get more music, just throw it on. I was like, all right.
That's awesome.
So yeah, for sure. So yeah, that was a really cool kind of part of that. So like even though I wasn't making like the money that I thought I should be making at the time, or like, you know, my social life was kind of like compromised, and I had these weird hours. It was like stuff like that where I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of cool. Like I get to play whatever I want, like be a part of this cool metal show.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
You feel like you're a part of something going on.
Yeah. It had its ups for sure. Yeah.
And amazing resume builders.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's even like sometimes I'm like, that was a long time to be at a station, and I like, you know, didn't get to where I wanted to financially, and like there was all these kind of like weird cons, but then all the pros like that, it's like it looks really good, and like, you know, I was there for a long time and I got really good references and stuff like that. So it's about like finding the positives too.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because something that me and like the producer to all the crowd rooms, James, he had like this one book which was like learning when to just like quit was like one of the books he was talking about, and just like when it's like, and like I remember like before he ever even mentioned anything like that.
Yeah,
maybe you probably have this thought where it's just like, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
Literally, I think it's the Gemini part.
Yeah, because and like, but also it's understanding that like you have this built-in work ethic where you're just gonna keep going, and once there's that part of you where it's not feeding the soul anymore, that was your fuel.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like your dreams and aspirations, like you said in the beginning, were because you had this idea, this I guess mission in life where you wanted to be this person of a personality that could be some sort of celebrity, but once you saw that there was no future for it, you knew that there was time for you to adapt and rebrand yourself. And that's another reason why you're here, is because it's really important for people to understand that it's all about rebirth and being able to know when to call it quits and start on something new, because it might just give you, because at the end of the day, all that time that you put in, you learned all of these new skills.
Yeah,
you learned,
true.
you made all these new connections, and now when you go into that new project, that new phase of your life, it could just skyrocket you to the next level so much quicker.
Well, that was something that's really cool about it. Is I've always said, like, okay, well, there's never time wasted.
Facts.
Ever, no matter what it is, bad relationship, no time wasted. You learned what you don't like.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
or it's
Yeah.
like with this, it's like, okay, well, you know, with you, it's like, okay, well, I learned a lot. I have you, like you said, you have great references. Now
Yeah.
you know something to bring over. It's like, okay, I can kind of find the similarities between, you know, running my own podcast and running
Yeah.
the radio station on how to even talk
Sure.
on a mic, you know?
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I guess what I struggle with is like if you actually look at like my resume, it's like all radio stuff. So I feel like a lot of that stuff isn't transferable to like other careers or other like projects. I don't know, but I feel like if you listen to my podcast, it's kind of like how I was on the radio, but I feel like it's way more fun because I don't have to talk about like, you know, court-ordered stuff. I get to talk about whatever I want. So I still have those skills. I still know how to audio edit like a beast, and like I know how to talk on the mic. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, you're very good at public speaking. So, like, that can translate almost anywhere,
Yeah,
really.
that's true. And I think after so many years of being on the radio professionally, it kind of did translate to like some sort of comfortability of being on stage and doing stand-up or like modeling and
I never
being in
even
front
thought
of
about
people.
that.
Yeah, it kind of does translate. It's just not on paper.
Oh,
I guess, you know,
Yeah,
like
no.
that's kind of what I struggle with. I'm like, on paper, I look so dumb.
Well,
But like,
not necessarily. I think it's just like the wording, and I don't mean to cut you off,
yeah,
but
no,
this
you're good.
is a real like thing though that a lot of people don't understand. It's because at the end of the day, this is something that like every project needs, every band needs. You know, like if you're involved with a team, or even if you're your own team, you still have to do all the roles. Or if you're in a group individually, you need someone who's a campaigner.
Sure,
you know what I
sure.
mean? And like being able to paint a pretty picture is always like we're selling ourselves every day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you're putting something on a resume, your main goal is to basically be like,
Market yourself.
guess what, baby? There's a hot deal right now. You
Yeah.
better go ahead and buy in. Stocks are up.
Yeah.
But that's the truth, though, because that is what we do every day as people. We are campaigning for not just ourselves, but for our dreams, for our friends' dreams. We're trying to go ahead and sell the fucking thing to everyone around us.
Yeah.
Because that is what we've done here from the start. We've gathered ourselves together and we were like, here's our goal. This is our mission, and we're going to reach it. But it's the fact that you campaign means that you were able to, you had communication skills,
Yeah.
that you were able to delegate, that you were able to, you know, team management. All these things coincide with each other that you can put on paper. Because at the end of the day, no one's calling your fucking boss. I'm just going to say that now.
No.
No one's ever called Mary's at Mary's Cafe to ask about how good of a busboy I was.
I mean, you'd be surprised in the Yelp reviews.
oh my god. Does Jose have Yelp
Ban Yelp.
reviews?
Man, I have a horrible Yelp rating.
Oh my god, stop.
No, listen, if there was a rate, dude, what's that Black Mirror episode where they rate your fucking personality or how good of a person you are?
Oh, yo, that one. Okay,
Is that the Bryce Dallas Howard or like
no? That's the one that's
Jessica Chastain one?
That's the one with the.
They have a rating.
Yeah, it's
Right.
you rate somebody like due to interaction.
Yeah, I think it's Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yo,
Yeah.
okay. Have you've obviously watched Black Mirror?
Yes.
Have you?
I think I know what episode you're talking
I've only
about.
seen that one episode.
Are you serious? Okay.
That's like the most popular one, I think.
That's too
So,
realistic.
Dude.
I watched half of it, and immediately I paused it. I was like, "This is Instagram. This is what Instagram is going to be in like 10 or 20 years."
Yeah.
Because it pops up and you have a feed, and like people post pictures and updates. But in the new, I guess you could say, update was. If,
Your interaction with
your
someone.
interaction would
Yeah.
pop up and you can grade somebody, and then the quality of life that you can live, that's it. The quality of life that you even can live dictates on your rating.
Yeah, so you can't
on
get-
this app. That's
so scary.
nuts.
People are going to be such dicks on that show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not getting the job because you have
That
a
would-
3.0.
That
Yeah.
would mean like who's the most popular person on Instagram? Is it Kylie Jenner?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
That
I
means
think
Kylie
so.
Jenner is president.
Yeah.
That's what that
And
means.
she's living
No,
to be
she's the
150
princess.
years old. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the princess, because she would have the highest rating. Everyone loves her. She would be the elite.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see how like people really take that to heart. Oh, we got to watch it.
Yeah,
we got to watch it again.
No, but the thing is with that, I feel like Twitter would take over and there'd be an angry mob that would be like trying to anyone that's on top, everyone's trying to bring down. So,
Yeah, sure.
you know what I mean? mean,
that's already covered in that episode because there's that one chick who's the truck driver.
Yeah.
Who has like a 2 rating or like a 1 point something rating, and she just stopped giving a fuck about anything and started just like wilding out and saying what she feels, but like she's like cast out. So like anybody on like Twitter that like really gets like butthurt, like the keyboard warriors immediately get like a -100 and they can't live. They can't even have phones anymore because they would just get rated out. Yes.
I love it.
We're like
I gotta watch
10
that
years
episode.
away. We're 10 years
Bro,
away.
that's how censorship is going to happen. So you can't really, you
scary.
wouldn't really censor. You can't really censor people because people will be like, oh, fuck it. So they're like, all right, we want you to be good people. So
You got to be fake nice
you
to people.
have to now.
Yeah.
Because in order to get that house, you need to be a 3.5. If you're a 3.4, done.
Yeah.
You can't buy it.
I need to know some new things right now because this is terrifying.
Yeah, let's get off the subject. I love it though.
Literally.
I want to know something just for anyone who's listening right now, and I know that like, what would you say is the best way to go ahead and start when it comes to something like modeling or like acting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's your what was your way of going through and getting your foot in the door?
For anything like performance based, I feel like you need to practice like a lot. And that
How'd you
might
practice?
be so like for modeling, it's a lot of like getting your shot and like knowing your angles and like a lot of practice I did from like selfies and like self timer, and like I do that all the time. And I'll like if I get a good picture, I'll put it on Instagram, but it's like more so for practicing. So like when I do self timer pictures like in my house, I have like a ring light. I don't have like anything super fancy, but like I just kind of turn the camera forward towards me so I can see how I look on the camera. And if I'm making a dumb derp face, it's like I know not to position my head like that or whatever. So basically I can kind of picture when I'm doing like a shoot for Spencer's, I can't see the monitor, I can't see, you know, the back of the camera, but I know that like if I'm doing this pose, then like that's
That'd
a
be
good
fire.
one. Yeah. So like it's kind of like
Trial and error kind of thing.
yeah, you really have to kind of like do it yourself, I
Yeah.
guess, and like kind of put that time in. And I get people like DMing me on Instagram all the time, like girls that are like, how do I do this? Like, how do I get into it? And like, I feel like that's kind of cheap. Like, you kind of just have to like do your research and like, you know, find friends that are photographers that maybe won't necessarily charge you in the beginning.
Or also big.
Yeah, like maybe somebody that's just getting into photography and needs like portrait models, and like I wouldn't say go on Instagram and like DM random people because that's not safe, but especially if you're a girl, but like, you know, everybody has a friend that has a nice camera, right? Or like a friend that has a really nice iPhone, like the iPhone 12. Like that's probably the same as like a DSLR at this point, right?
Yeah.
So like honestly, if you can like work it and like find your angles and like know what to do, and then when you're actually in a professional shoot, you like got it. Like I know what my poses are.
So like time.
So yeah, you got to put your time in, and also, I mean, you got to be confident too. Just however you are, like if you want to be a model, you got to like be okay with people criticizing you and like.
And I think
that.
and this is just like real quick because I one day I'll be a model, cowboy model.
Cowboy
He's
model.
working on his fitness.
I'm working on.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Shout out to Jesse James Smith if anyone wants to get fitness done.
Shoot. Okay. Hey.
Listen, the Tack Our House, James, Jesse, Mikey.
Yeah.
The fit's real.
The fit is real.
The fit is real. We all look good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to self brag here.
You guys are killing it.
We're,
Yeah.
Every day we write motivational mantras.
We do.
Oh, that's so cute.
My
Do we wanna-
favorite one.
Do we want to drop some knowledge?
Real quick before I
What
ask
was
this
the
question.
one for today?
Let's
Well, okay,
give the crowd
Yeah.
a taste of
Everyone-
some
everyone drop
motivation.
one.
Before I do that, can I give the cowboy hat to Jesse?
Yeah, let me give it
There
to
you go.
Mikey real
Yeah,
quick.
can we do a switch? Hold on, I gotta make sure my hair is.
Otherwise, spin it.
flopperoo.
There we go.
Hey, looks good.
Yeehaw.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks guys.
Yeehaw, partner.
Tried something new today.
Oh, I like it.
Thanks.
I like it. All right, yes, mantras. I'll try to think of one on the fly. I'll go last.
Okay.
Ooh,
You
man.
first.
Mine is the one I texted you today. Sinners can be winners.
Ooh.
I believe in redemption.
Okay.
Preach.
And that's pretty much it.
All right.
I love it.
And
Okay.
I'll invite sinners to dinner.
Okay. I like it.
Poetic
Yes.
justice right there. All right. Listen, for anyone out there who feels like they're being treated like less than what they're worth, It's because they put the crown on the ground.
Oh, no,
you don't
you're- oh,
put
no,
the
not
crown
again.
on the ground. If they want to be if they want to go back to being a peasant because they can't handle the responsibilities of being part of royalty, that's on them.
Which leads to
Preach.
mine.
Ooh.
Which leads to mine, and that is loyalty is royalty.
Let's hear it.
I was not ready for that. Okay, the only thing I can think of is if you're in a bad relationship, there's a quote from The Office that I think about all the time. I don't know if you guys like The Office, but it's like my favorite show ever. It's
great.
Phyllis says, I think we deserve to be with someone who wants to be with us. And that's
Wow.
about kind of knowing your self-worth and not taking crap from anybody.
We have one for that actually too.
Uh-huh.
Less semen, more scheming.
Oh, ladies.
Yeah.
And dudes.
That was
and
written.
dudes.
That was written.
Everybody.
That's
That
for
was
everyone.
written.
Wow.
Everyone should be scheming first.
Scheming first.
Is that
Put yourself
like putting
first.
yourself first, guys?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
It's all
it.
code.
I love
it's all
it.
code.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
That's kind of a graphic one, but I like where it's going.
It rhymes.
Oh, they get
So-
they
Yeah,
get graphic. They get graphic more often than not.
But there's
loyalty,
so full of
royalty, less seeming, more scheming.
Crown on the ground.
Crown on the ground, and then sinners can be winners.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
a lot. All right,
Yeah.
We're writing a
That's a
book.
lot.
we have 3 whiteboards, and over those 3 whiteboards in the house,
No, don't.
one of them will have like motivational quotes.
Oh, the
Okay,
fridge.
okay,
The
okay.
fridge. Because we need water in the morning.
Well,
Anyway.
of course, I love it. Okay.
Okay, so how do you? This is something that, like, whether you're in a band or a graphic designer, how do you, when you're modeling, acting, value your worth? How do you
Yeah.
negotiate your worth? How do you go into something? Are you doing it because you're getting a service out of it and you call it even? Or are you at a point where you're like, I need X amount to go ahead and make it worth it? What is
Yeah.
your best take on that?
So I guess when you're starting out in like something like that, like a creative type of thing, you have to be willing to kind of work for free, but you might also be doing a trade. So like when I was modeling in the beginning, I would trade with photographers, and sometimes I still do that with like really good friends of mine. And they're like some of the best photos that I have ever gotten. So like it's kind of a quality thing, I guess, too. But now, especially if I'm like traveling to New York or like traveling to DC or Baltimore or something for like a shoot, I definitely have to be getting paid because I'm not driving myself. Like I drive all over the place. Like I feel like I live in my car, but like I'm not like travel's a big thing for me for sure. Like I have to at least be getting like some kind of travel expense. And then the other thing is like, especially with modeling and like photographers that I might not know very well, if it's like a kind of a referral from another model or something, I want to make sure I'm getting like you know, at least like 10 to 20 photos. Like I don't want to travel to a shoot and then get like 3 edits back, because I've done that before, and I could be at a shoot for like 2 or 3 hours and I get 3 pictures back and I'm like, we took 500 pictures. So that's really frustrating. So now it's kind of like trial and error again. Like when you're starting out, like these are all the things that you are okay with and these are all the things that you're not going to compromise.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of knowing your worth is like not necessarily money, but it's your time too. Yeah.
For sure. And I guess laying out the expectations on the people you're doing work with.
Yeah, I think.
So there's no like disagreements
Yes.
after everything's said
Or
and done.
surprises.
Do you do any kind of contracts or anything beforehand?
Sometimes, like the
Okay.
bigger things like Spencer's.
I'm sure like Spencer's, yeah, okay.
They'll do like model releases, and it's kind of like standard. But
Yeah.
I feel like those are things you learn too. It's like, oh shoot, I should have said that ahead of time, but now I can't say it because we already did the shoot. But I think it's made me be more direct with people, and it's like, you know what, if they're gonna be like douchey and like not want to do the shoot because I said my terms, then like bye. Like I don't need to work with you anyway. See ya.
Yeah.
Like if it's somebody I don't know very well, or it's the first time I'm working with them, I'll like bring someone with me. And some photographers are like weird about that.
Yeah, because it gets them like out of their mojo or
Right,
weird,
but
something
it's
like
like,
that, right?
I don't want to get like murdered. So
Yeah.
if you're not cool with that, then bye.
And like, maybe you should learn how to work under pressure. Like, you know what I
Sure,
mean? Like if a band can
exactly.
practice by themselves, you know what I mean? They still
Yes.
perform live in front of people.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are you represented or do you represent yourself? Like, do you have a manager or like an agency for acting and modeling?
So yes, so both of those, I guess. I have an agent that gets me kind of like commercial and like film projects, and she's based out of Cherry Hill, so it's a lot of like tri-state stuff, like Philly and sometimes like Maryland and Jersey and New York and stuff. But she's awesome, and she gets me some like really cool stuff sometimes. But I am really impatient, so I'm hustling all the time and like submitting for stuff on my own all the time, because if I just like waited for her, I maybe would only work once a month, right? Which is like fine, and like I'm appreciative of like everything she gets me.
But
of
you're
course.
hungry.
But I'm like, listen, I gotta pay them bills, and I also am like trying to build up my resume, and like I want to have like a kind of a variety of like projects that I can present. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, for sure.
How did you get in touch with her? Just hit her up?
So I am a part of like an acting school, and then once you graduate from like the first semester, you get to kind of like perform for her. And if she thinks that she could use you or she likes you, then you get another audition with her, like at her studio. And then if she's like, yeah, let's do it, then she'll sign you.
I'm signing.
That's awesome.
I'm signing
Yeah. Yeah.
Signing up.
I
mean,
was
why
like,
not,
I mean, you might as well. Dude, acting school is like so much fun. And I was
think
like,
I could act?
oh, for
Yes.
for sure. Yeah. It's like so much fun. And I was like apprehensive because I didn't kind of consider myself as like a theater person. Like I had done plays and stuff, but I wasn't like in that kind of crew.
We all need to
You
take
know?
acting classes.
Dude, acting class is the most
Fun fact.
Yes.
Listen, if you're in a band or you do any kind of performing arts, there's a switch. There's a switch, and you need to learn how to turn that switch on and off because
We've talked about this.
when you step on that stage, your demeanor, everything about you
Yes.
changes. You're just like, I am this person.
Yeah.
Who
It's your
who I am
badass
in my
alter
head.
ego.
This is me. This is the real me.
Yeah,
This is the real me.
The lights turn off, you turn into the beast, and you turn around from
You
the
have
amp,
to.
and you're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Bad days become good days immediately.
And
Sure.
that's an important skill to learn because like, so there was a friend of mine who I used to hang out with for a while, and she used to do a lot of acting. And one thing that I used to do with her, and this is like kind of what got me interested in acting when I a few years ago, was that they would just out of nowhere start acting with me. There was
gosh.
this one time at a gas station in Philly where they were like, she was basically like, I can't believe you would put your hands on me, and then immediately I was just like, well, maybe if you didn't go ahead and look at him that way all fucking night, I wouldn't think about that.
Oh, just like
Yeah,
coming
like
up with
right
whatever.
off the spot,
Yeah,
and then I slam my door in the fucking parking lot. There's like cars all around us, and I'm just like, go back to him, go ahead. Like anyone's actually gonna care. I gave up literally 2 months ago after you did it the first time.
You do that to me every day.
I know, but
There
then
you
there's
go.
someone intervened, and they're like, "Yo, what's going on? Like, dude, it's not that deep. Like, chill."
no.
And then we both just started dying in laughter,
yeah,
and
it's
we were
like,
like, "We're sorry. We just thought we would
Just
do some.
kidding.
Yeah, we're acting."
Yeah.
They probably thought we were fucked up.
There was a domestic about to happen.
Yeah.
We're about to do
Sure.
that tomorrow morning at
Oh my
Wawa.
God.
We should
just
do this.
mess with people.
That's gonna be that's gonna be like the new playlist on To All the Crowded Rooms YouTube. Is all of us just like popping off in random
But you
places.
can't
Eric
give
Andre
anybody
shit.
any signals. You
Exactly.
Just gotta do it.
It's in the moment. It's so important because guess what? The reason why I bring this up, and I know it sounds so random, but for anyone who's able to turn that switch on, like Jesse said, your bad days turn into good days.
Yeah.
You need to be able to just grab yourself by the fucking neck sometimes and be like, all right, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going into it. I don't care if today was a bad day. There's an opportunity right here, right now. I'm gonna put on the best me right now, and I'm gonna fucking shoot for the stars.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's the best me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've always thought of it too. Is like, okay, this has to be not even for myself or whoever likes my. If it's modeling, right? It's whoever likes my pictures or whoever like really likes the way I model. I have to be the best me ever
Yes.
because, especially with anything creative, you need to put your best foot forward. You know,
Yeah.
which
We all
I
know
like
that Jesse's modeling pics are fire.
They are fire.
I have. So I've always thought about being.
I'm gonna take a shot to that.
There you go.
Drinking the Jesse real quick.
Jesse's bod.
Can we
Jesse's bod. Yes.
can we talk about the Army of the Dead movie?
Sure.
Because I'm very excited to see it, and I know that
too.
you were in it.
Yes. So Army of the Dead filmed in Atlantic City at the Showboat, which is closed except for the hotel part. So they weren't like, they didn't have to do a lot of set design because it's already pretty dusty and gross in
Right.
there. And basically like Army of the Dead is Zack Snyder's kind of follow up to Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
I didn't know that it was a sequel.
Yes. It's I don't know if it's sequel per se, but it's like the
Same
next
universe,
kind
kinda.
of
Yeah.
like the next story. I don't know. And it's kind of like an Ocean's 11 kind of a weird heist thing that happens in Vegas. And then but Vegas doesn't have as many empty casinos as Atlantic City does. So they had to come here, Whoops.
We're leading in something.
Sorry. Yes, in closed casinos.
And most hated.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of that.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
sure.
you've been here for 9 years.
I'll come back to that because I remember. Side note, I remember moving to Philly.
Yeah.
And I always thought Philly kind of looked like what Kensington looks like, but all of Philly. I
Right.
thought all of Philly
Oh no,
looked
there's
like
little
that.
pockets.
And I remember walking through Center City, being from right outside of Atlantic City. I was in Absecon. So
I lived there for a while too.
Yeah, and I was just like,
What?
oh, this is what a city is. Oh, and then every time for 2 years, every time I would go into Atlantic City pre-COVID, I would like, I'm depressed. This
Yeah, oh, it's
sucks.
so sad.
I hate it here.
Oh,
Look
it's
at this
sad.
place. Look, that's not even anything. That's just a gated whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, gated lot. Like,
yeah,
what
it's
is
a
that?
lot. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Blame the fucking politicians and corporate interests for fucking over Atlantic City.
I mean, kind of true.
Terrible.
But it did lend itself well as a set for a major Netflix film.
About zombies.
About zombies. So it was very it worked. Yeah.
Lit.
So that was filmed, I think it was last September and October. And I ended up getting called back for 3 weeks. I knew I was going to be there for 2 days. And then it was every day they were like, nope, you're booked again, whatever. So it was kind of I don't know, it was the most fun I ever had. Literally.
Whoa.
This was the most fun. I met this whole group of people that are now my crew, my best friends.
Yeah.
How many people is in the zombie crew?
Oh my gosh. My friend group or the whole there was hundreds of.
So you were there for 3 weeks. So what was the 3 week crew like?
So the 3 week crew was not the same people every day.
Okay.
I don't know how it was me and a couple people that were there all the days. But I think it was mostly because people had real jobs, quote unquote, and couldn't get take off work for that long. But at the time I was not employed. I was under the table employed, but not, So, quote unquote, winky winky. I was just doing my gig stuff and I wasn't really I didn't have to take off work or ask off or use vacation, but a lot of people did have to do that. So doing it for 3 weeks wasn't really a thing they could do.
Sure.
So they kind of had to keep calling new people. So, over the 3 weeks, there was probably 100 zombie type of people. So there was us, kind of the zombies that had been dead for a really long time. So I got to wear some really cool makeup and
Nice.
I don't know, that part was really cool.
Yeah,
And
wait,
then,
how long did it take to put the makeup on?
an hour and a half.
Ew.
So depending on
So 100
what day,
people for an hour and a half. So how many makeup people were
so
there?
there was probably 30 makeup artists.
Whoa.
And some days if it was early on in the movie, we weren't as dead, so I would have a bite mark on my neck or something, and then a scratch on my hand. So they would have to apply those prosthetics, and that kind of takes a little while to dry and put all the makeup on and stuff. But then later on, I was more dead, and then they were kind of just cheat that with masks, or they would kind of just give us these weird skins. So instead of doing a lot of body painting, they were really thin clothes that looked like zombie skin.
That's kind of cool.
So it was kind of a cheat thing.
Yeah.
But so our call times were 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning, and then we wouldn't get done until 10 o'clock at night. So it was nuts.
Oh, you were probably you're probably still sleepy from that shoot.
It was. I mean,
That sounds like a party.
Honestly,
the
it
whole
was
time.
so fun, and because it was so high profile, that shoot, they took our phones when we checked in. So for all day, you wouldn't have your phone because they didn't want people taking pictures and stuff. Dude, it was so weird, and so that's why I made this group of friends, because we didn't have anything to do. We were in a big room, and so we just were all talking to each other, and we played cards and stuff, and I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was being a kid in the 90s again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
No
don't
cell
know.
phones,
Did you-
just zombies living in the
People
moment.
Living in the moment.
Were the
Yeah.
zombies able to talk to the bigger actors?
Yeah, so I talked to Dave Bautista a little bit on set.
What?
Dave
The
Bautista.
animal?
Huh?
The animal?
I don't know.
He's
Yeah,
the,
I
he's the
guess.
wrestler.
The
The
wrestler.
animal.
Yeah, yeah.
Batista, yeah.
All right, listen.
Batista.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? The fact that I said that and no one even said anything, you guys are
I
just all
don't. So
fake.
I don't know. My boyfriend's a wrestler, but I don't know anything about wrestling. I'm the worst.
That's okay.
I don't know.
That's all right. That's sick. That
I
you
don't
even
know.
met Dave Bautista.
Yeah, he
That's
was
sick.
cool. He really liked my hair. He was like, "Is that your real hair?" I was like, "Yeah, it's my real hair. I just dye it, whatever."
Pull it.
Yeah, I was like, So he was really like super nice, and then the first day on set was kind of like a zombie training camp. So we were in with like the stunt coordinators, and we had to like learn how to be zombies basically. And Zack Snyder was like on set that day, and he like talked to everybody. So I got to like shake his hand. He was like, "Thanks so much for coming." He was
Did
really
you tell
nice.
him Batman vs Superman is the best movie of all time?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No, but
Why not?
I'm more of a Wonder Woman fan. He didn't direct it, but I think he produced it. More of a Wonder Woman fan. Yeah.
Okay.
You like Marvel over DC, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But The Dark Knight is my favorite movie.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but that's more for Christopher Nolan. But anywho.
I tried to think of who I liked better, Marvel or DC.
DC.
It depends. DC for villains. DC has the
yeah.
better villains.
Yeah, that
but
might-
I am a huge Deadpool fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
Gotcha.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
I'm not a real comic book kid, but I was really into Joker, Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
So like
same.
DC, and then Deadpool, which is Marvel.
Those are my favorite graphic novels, like the Joker ones, like Mad Love and like Killing Joke and stuff. Yeah. Those
I
are my
just
faves.
watched The Killing Joke.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, it was really
It's
good.
like very depressing and like unsettling.
Not as way to me because I watched Joker and that back to back.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Joker is like
I was
a
having a bad
mind-
day, guys.
Mind F. Yeah,
I was having a
gonna say,
horrible day.
Do you need a hug?
And yeah, I thought because I never been into graphic novels like ever.
okay.
I never was. My brother is. But he kept telling me, he's like, all right, you should watch The Joker.
Yeah,
Because I
it's
watched some
good.
of them. Like I said, I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
And like some of the Batman's are really good.
Yeah.
The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Next
So good.
level.
It's so
Unsettling to the
I,
point.
I think I like that better than the Dark Knight. To be
Really?
honest, it was
Yes.
just super unique. I loved it.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I need
gosh.
to rewatch it. Here's what I have a problem. They're like 3 hours. They're like crazy long, and I don't have the attention span for that.
You don't.
Facts.
But I
Gotta
don't.
take a break.
Can't
But,
watch plot.
Gotta take a break.
But no, the
Okay.
Joker was insane. I halfway through the movie, I'm like, I kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
okay,
that's like,
I mean, I would go off the rocker too
Yeah.
if I was him.
babies.
I think that's the point. Like they wanted to make like kind of humanize him.
Yeah. They
Did a good job.
Yeah. That was a great movie. Yeah, for sure.
Who's your favorite Joker?
Ooh.
Oh, Heath Ledger. 100%. 100%.
I mean,
Joaquin
yeah.
did a great job though. I have to say, like that was amazing.
I'm pretty sure Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Like I'm pretty
In
sure
real
he
life.
is the Joker in real life. That's why his was like, oh, they just painted him white.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Didn't
think
even do
that,
anything else.
Like I like Jack Nicholson as the Joker, but it's more like a campy type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think Heath Ledger's more.
Heath
like,
Ledger was the
realistic.
best.
Yeah.
In
for
my-
sure.
yeah.
So. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just thinking. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bad with actors. Like the only thing I even have like an idea of is like comedians and shit.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? Like that's like.
Oh my god,
Are we gonna segue into something right now?
No, bro, dude. I'm not saying any. You go.
Let's get to the fun portion because
Okay.
we've all wanted to talk about Karle Gwen getting into the comedy world.
Yes.
So when did you decide you wanted to be a stand-up comedian?
And do you think it was appropriate to say that racial slur? No, I'm just kidding.
racial slur?
Cancel.
Dude, no way. I feel like my comedy content is pretty like.
It's nowhere near what I just said. Everybody's listening.
Yeah,
I am a
It's
big
like
liar.
very low like
I'm
impact.
acting.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff.
Thanks.
So I've always loved stand up. Like I feel like back in the day, I started getting into it with like Dane Cook. Like
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
he was
Yes.
he like
Yeah.
was the guy like towards the end of like when I was in high school.
Wait, Karle.
Yes.
The Weepathon. The Weepathon. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
His bit where he's just like, you're at work and you want to cry, and then you start breathing,
Yep.
and then you look behind you. It's the world,
Oh yeah.
and they say to you, "You're gonna cry."
And then it just coming up. Yeah, no, literally. I feel like I think about that like whenever I'm trying to not cry in public, or like in my car, and I'm like, just like you can force it down or something. That's so funny.
I
But
love
yeah,
crying.
dude, who
My
doesn't?
favorite pastime.
Pastime.
Do it twice a day.
Silver medal, Olympics, 2012.
Oh my god, I can't. But yeah, no, I guess like I was always a fan of comedy, and like some of my favorite comedians are like Patton Oswalt and like Aziz Ansari and Louis
love
C.K.
Aziz.
and like they're just amazing. Like storytellers too, and I really appreciate like especially Patton Oswalt's like writings, and I've always loved writing like since I was like a little kid. Dude, yes.
You in your stand-up that you that I was watching, you mentioned something about like you like joking. It was like funny how you did the joke about coming out to your parents that you were straight.
Oh yeah, that's everybody's favorite. That's the best thing I've ever written, and I'm like, well, I peaked. Okay, but like, yeah, that's like how I open all my stand-up sets. I'm like, hey everybody, I came out to my parents, and everyone's like, wow, yeah, they're clapping and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I came out straight, because like when you look at me, like this doesn't scream straight, this screams like the LGBTQ community, and like my parents are very conservative and like traditional, and like this is
they're
not
Republicans.
yeah, literally they are. They're cool, but like this isn't on brand for them. Okay, so like my style is very strange to my family, and they're like not cool with like the tattoos and stuff.
What are your plans with the comedy right now? Like I know since venues and everything due to COVID's closed down, have you been thinking of have you been writing material in the meantime?
Yes. So like the last actual like in-person set I did was at the Fillmore in Philly in February. It was like a couple weeks before COVID.
Wow.
Like everything shut down. So I was like really glad I got that set in. But since then, I mean, I've been writing, like, I write all the time, just whenever I think of, like, something that I might want to kind of build up later, like little premises. Like I have this Google Doc in my drive, and it's just like pages and pages of like little tidbits that I can like kind of put in whenever I need them.
What's your favorite thing about writing your jokes? Like for you, are you really setting it up where it's, because for me, I feel like we talked about this on the phone, and it's like going back to like just like the modeling, acting, like comedy, like there's this idea of being able to portray your truth to everyone, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I just like I'm really excited to see everything go back in the swing, and like I was wondering if you had any ideas of putting out any kind of like, because I don't see any comedians do this personally, like people on like a more local level where they like put out like a video. Sure. You know what I mean? And like I don't know if anything like that's ever crossed your mind, or if
I guess so. I did see like people trying to live stream during like the lockdown, which like I feel like is kind of weird because there's no audience.
Yeah, would you ever do like a private party or something like that? Like would you ever do, you know what I mean? Like if you did like,
I guess, but I'm still kind of like
weird,
apprehensive about the whole like Rona.
Yeah.
But like I mean, at least now it's not like 20 degrees outside, so you can still kind of be outside with like a group.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful this weekend.
I mean it was like in the 70s, great, but like in a couple weeks it's gonna be like 30.
Yeah.
So I'm like okay with that, and I feel like I'm like kind of always ready to go to like perform and stuff. It's like it's more so like safety, I guess, and also I don't want people jacking my material.
Facts.
So I feel like like I only have 3 of my sets on YouTube because that is kind of like a concern. Not that I'm like, you know, Nikki Glazer or something, but like still
you still want it to be fresh when people come see you.
Right, exactly.
It needs to be original.
Yeah, so I'm apprehensive to do anything that can be like kind of recorded because of that. But yeah, I mean, I miss it. I haven't done it since February, and that's like the longest period of time that I've been off.
What was the first show that you ever did for comedy? Like what was the like pinnacle, like okay, I'm gonna do it? Because me and Jose literally talk about it all the time, about doing like open mics for like, okay, we're just gonna go up and just start speaking.
Okay, so people really do that, and that gives me like anxiety.
You got a riff.
Here's the thing. So I took a comedy class at Helium in Philly.
There's a class. They take classes?
Yeah. Why
is no one telling me?
And right down the street there's an improv.
Yeah, so I'm not really an improv person, but you guys would probably be good at that.
Oh, I'm not an improv person.
I'm really not.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Like I've never done it, but I think that's more theatery than like comedy. I don't know.
That's the same thing though.
You were coming up with material for the radio at 5:30 in the morning for 7
You're
in the morning.
doubting yourself and you're limiting yourself.
Oh gosh.
All right, and you know you got it.
I like the set more, I guess.
I feel
I
you.
like knowing, like writing everything down. So basically, like also from like the acting side, I basically have a script of like my set, so I have it memorized.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like a lot of people think that comedians are really just up there making it up, but that's because they're so good. Like they do that set in every city, word for word.
They got a bag of tricks and they know where to pull from.
It's
kinda.
like literally I saw Aziz Ansari like 3 different dates. He did the same show. It's in your head. Like it's, you know, a script in your head. So it's not like you're not going up there just blabbing about whatever for an hour. It's like, you know, set out ahead of time. You wrote it. And I think that's what I like so much about comedy. So I took a class in like 2017, I think, at Helium, and it was like 6 sessions, and you basically learned how to put a 5-minute set together that was like airtight, so you can always be ready with that set.
Whoa.
So I think my first show was at Helium, and it wasn't like open mic, it was more like a showcase. So it was like a couple Philly comedians, and like people bought tickets, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Bro, when it's back, we're going.
So you should definitely look into like comedy classes if you want to do that.
I've only ever done 2 sets, and I told you about it.
Yeah,
I murdered the one, and I ate shit the second one.
See, I feel like I would be so terrified to eat shit because, like, if you don't have your set ahead
Doesn't
of
taste
time,
that bad.
dude. I would be so scared. Like,
Taste that bad.
I can't go out in front of people and like not have what I'm gonna say. Like, that's why I don't like improv.
I'll eat a bag of dicks all day. I don't care.
There's a quote.
Yeah, that's a soundbite.
Yeah, you need that on like
Everybody, Jose eats bags of dicks.
Yeah.
Just letting everyone
On the
know.
record.
On the regular.
On the regular. I'm the biased guy here. What's
God.
good? Drop on my DMs. If
Hey.
you're not like 9 and up as a rating, like don't try.
Okay.
If your personality's a 10, you can try.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Carly, would you
Yeah.
consider doing a comedy podcast?
I don't know how.
Would you go on
how?
one? Would you go on one? Because I know a friend who does one.
Yeah, but like, what do you do on there? Like, games?
You
Or, like,
just
what
have
do
a
you
silly
do?
goose time. You come up with some
like
topics
goofing?
and you just goof the whole
Silly
time.
Yeah,
goofing.
sure. Yeah, I can do that because I feel like I can like kind of talk to anybody. So I feel like I can just follow the whatever's going on. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, because there's some
Yeah.
good ones. I mean, I'm a big. All the comedians right now, they all they all have these crazy, awesome podcasts. Like,
Yeah.
Chris D'Elia. I mean, he's canceled.
He's
but
canceled,
like,
but sorry.
Huge fan. I mean, I love his podcast, and it got me out of a lot of hard times, and
There
I
you
love
go.
it. I mean, Whitney Cummings, she has the
Yeah.
Good For You podcast, super good.
I listen to Conan.
He's got a podcast?
Yeah, Conan.
What?
Dude, I like love Conan. I don't know why, but he's just like such a weirdo, and he's like, he's like my dad's age probably, but he's just like so funny. But yeah, it's basically like, his show that was on whatever TBS, but it's like in podcast form, and then they can curse and stuff, and it's like so funny. And
I bet Conan wiles out.
oh
on his
yeah, he does.
podcast.
He's
Yeah.
insane, and like it's him and his assistant, and then
Is
they
it the
have,
same dude from the TV
No, it's
show?
not Andy. It's
Okay.
his assistant, Sonia.
Okay.
It's like she's behind the scenes, like you never see her, but like she's really funny too. And then they just have like celebrities on, just like the normal show.
Wow.
But it's like a lot more goofing.
Okay.
And, like,
Silly
longer,
goofing.
Oh, silly goofing.
I like silly goose time.
And longer interviews. So like Jim Carrey was just on, so like his was
Jim
like
Carrey.
really really good.
He's like a god.
Definitely
yeah,
gonna check that
I know.
out.
I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh my god, he finally did something kind of more on brand with the SNL skit that he just did.
Oh, with Biden?
he was kind of going really weird for a minute. He
That's
grew
my
out his
favorite version.
beard and like started talking all like about
Okay.
the universe.
He turned into Jeff Goldblum.
He basically
He was like, I wasn't super sure how I felt about him as Biden.
God.
But like, because he was being so Jim Carrey about
Yeah.
it. But like, I mean,
I love Jim
it was
Carrey.
still really funny. So yeah, he's awesome. So
I
yeah.
feel like we got like a really good taste, a really good idea of who you are. I think all of our guests understand that when it comes to being someone in your shoes, you need passion, you need hunger. You know what I mean? You need to
Yeah.
have, you need to be able to look ahead and understand when it's time to step away and look for your new life meaning.
Yeah.
And I think you're an amazing guest, and I'm really happy we got this time together. And I
me
really
too.
want to, I want to ask that question. I want to ask everyone
This
right
is
now.
this is the question that I've been waiting for.
Okay.
Listen, a little bit of from me to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you right now were in front of a room of artists, you know what I mean? If you were in front of like,
Well, I kind of am.
yeah, well, not me.
Okay.
I'm
Just
just
talking to the crowd.
Some broskies.
No, your fans. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Anyone who's listening, if they're fucking someone on YouTube right now and they fucking found this and they're a kid and they're like, I want to be a model or a comedian or any of these
Sure.
things, something that's linear enough to understand, like, what would you give them as information, as a bit of advice from me to you, from you to them? What can you go ahead and say that you wish you could have heard when you were doing this? You know what I mean?
I guess the point that you made, that like you have to know when to step away and like start something new. Like you have to be like very courageous, because that's a scary point. And I did that like a year and a half ago, and it was like soul crushing. And I was like, oh my God, I failed. But you have to like be brave enough to be like, whatever, like I want to do something else, and like I have all these other interests and I can pursue them instead. So like when I walked away from radio, I was like, this is the only thing I know how to do. And then I was like, no, it isn't. Like I have all this other stuff, and like look how cool it is. I get to do something different every day, and I'm not working in an office. And you know, it's maybe not a stable life, but it's like a fun life.
More free life.
Yeah. And it's like I can kind of do whatever I want, and like how free is that? So I think it's like you have to be willing to be brave, and then I don't know, for me, as far as like the passion and the motivation, and like a lot of people are like, how do you keep doing it? Like how do you keep going? I don't know how to like let myself fail. And I think that's like rooted in like even like school. Like I couldn't just get A's, I had to get hundreds on everything, and like I always had to be in honors classes, and like it's just part of my like DNA.
Yeah. I love that, because like, and just coming from like an outside looking in, something that I see in you that I think shines really bright, and you might not even notice it, is that the way you handle humility. You know what I mean? Where it's like, the reason why you might have gotten those hundreds in school before is because you might have, I'm just assuming, you know what I mean? Maybe you got a bad grade once, you know what I mean? Or maybe in the radio game, you were like, I don't see the future in this. What have I done with my time? I got to eat that.
Yeah.
And you use that all as fuel, because at the end of the day, we can't demonize humility. We can't go ahead and tell ourselves that this was wasted time, like Jesse said earlier.
Yeah.
It was never a waste. That we did this because we felt passionate about it, and now it's time to start a new chapter.
Yeah.
It's time to be reborn and be the phoenix we know we are.
Sure.
Yeah, it's true.
No,
dude.
but like
and like,
literally,
as corny as it sounds, it's a real shit right there. And you eat humility, and it's a great part of your diet.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I got something to you about humility.
Lay it.
True humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less.
Oh, is that going on the whiteboard?
It's
already there.
I really
It
like
might.
that.
It already might be there.
Might be an alumni quote. I love that. That's
it's
really good.
It's good, right?
I think it's also like not believing your own hype is on there too.
What do you mean by
it's
that?
It's kind of like, I guess that kind of ties in with humility and being humble and stuff. It's like I think like the worst thing ever is like having an ego and like thinking that like you're the coolest. Like I'm always like, what can I do more to be like better for myself, and like thinking I'm worthy of my like self, I guess.
Because you don't, because that's because you know you can get better. You know what I mean? Because you know that there's always room to improve, and that's the best thing about you. The best thing about everyone at this table is that we understand. Sorry for knocking on the table. That we can get better. You know what I mean? That is the common theme of us as humans. We know our stories will always have a point where we go down and we go back up. Yeah. And it's the story of success that really drives us at the end of the day, knowing that sinners can be winners, baby.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Facts.
Yeah. I just know that like this isn't like I'm doing a lot now, and it's all good stuff, but it's like this isn't it.
Yeah.
You know, like it seems like
There's
I'm
just a
on like a
moment.
very steep mountain. Like I'm going up, but it's like slow moving, and I'm like, I know there's something better like later. I just have to kind of stick with it. Yeah.
I feel that.
I think that's everyone, and I think that's the.
But it's not though. It's not everyone.
It's
unfortunately
a very small percentage of people that are
it
very
should be
lucky.
Everyone,
Yeah,
but yeah.
But we're gonna wrap this up, Carly. It's so great to listen to you when I was younger, and then you're coming on our podcast and stuff. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Is there any plugs you want to plug away before we get off?
I want an extensive list of plugs,
Oh my
because you do
God,
so
you guys,
much.
You got like 50 pages.
Drop like rappers' names that you don't even associate with. 50 Cent.
Yeah,
Fucking.
just
Oh,
shout
shout out
out.
to King Von. Yo, he got shot today, right? He's like gone.
What?
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to
Is he?
King Von. Yeah.
R.I.P.
to
King Von.
6ix9ine
Yeah.
comment laughing emoji on the post of him dying.
That's fucked up.
Piece of
We
shit.
don't feel
Piece
good
of
about
shit.
that. We don't feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna shout out that guy.
But you shout out King
Anywho.
Von.
Sure. R.I.P. I guess first, just ahead of time, all of this stuff is in my bio on Instagram. So I'm at HairMetalX on Instagram. It's my link tree. I have to have a link tree because there's literally like 50 links. Anywho, so I want to shout out my YouTube page. So if you search Karle Gwen or youtube.com/Karle Gwen, I have all kind of different material on there, like vlogs on like random stuff. Like one I ranted about how I think college is stupid. And then I have some acting stuff up on there. I have like some kind of like metal-y update type of band stuff on there. I have some interviews, all different kind of stuff because I'm bored usually, and I'm like, what can I do today on YouTube? And you can see my dumb viral video with the mini brands. That's on there too. I post everything as far as acting on my acting portfolio. That's in my link tree also. So there's a short film that I did this summer that we talked about earlier, the Batman fan film.
I liked it.
Where I get to be Selena Kyle, but like a messed up, weird, manipulative version. And my boyfriend's in that, and he plays Bruce Wayne.
That's your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay,
What
cool.
a babe, right? What a babe.
Wait,
Yeah.
he's like, when he took his shirt off and he had all those tats?
No, not real. No.
Oh, those weren't real?
are fake tattoos that me and the director like had to apply, and it took like 4 hours.
There were so many.
There was a million. Oh my god. He only has tattoos on his legs, so all those are fake.
Wow.
Up there, yeah.
The more
so
we know.
interesting, yeah. But that was really, really fun to shoot. That's up there. It's only like 15 minutes long. And if you like Batman, you definitely have to watch it. That one's really cool. And then I guess on Instagram, I'll make sure I put all the links up for like the weird country music video I guess I'm doing.
Hell yeah.
All my photos that I get back from the Spencer shoots will be up there. Basically, Instagram's like my jam, and everything is on there. So
I'm
every
sure you'll
project
have
I'm doing.
I'm sure you'll have a little post for the music video you're doing as well and everything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So whenever that comes out, I'll put it up there. And then I have one coming out in November. I don't know what day, for a band called Ascent Like Wolves. I don't know if you guys know them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, do you know them?
Yo, shout out!
Really?
Shout out!
Al.
Yeah, Al Boltz is one of my friends.
Yeah, he's my boy.
He's one of my homies. Yeah, so I'm in 2 of their music videos. They have a record coming out in February. And the 2 music videos they're putting out, I'm in both of them. So
Oh, awesome.
they didn't really tell me like a date, but one's coming out in November, one's coming out in February.
Sick.
So I'm in those 2, but I'll definitely post about it. But yeah, Instagram, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys. That
Thank
was so
you so
fun.
much.
Thanks for watching, guys. We're To All the Crowd Rooms. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get the alert as soon as the episode gets posted. And thank you for watching to the end of this video. Don't forget to like it.
Peace.